Hello everyone, welcome to EduTerrain and a warm good evening to you all. So it was really a hectic day for everyone, I suppose, all glued to your TVs to understand the interim budget. What is it going to bring to us, especially business people and all that. So that's what we were doing, and as a teacher I was into what would be important for the exam, how it is to be taken, and what are the important points that I have to highlight. This is what I have done the entire day, watching the interviews and everything. So without wasting much time, let's start with today's session. So here in this session I'll be taking you through some important highlights of interim budget that has been presented by none other than our Honorable Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. ये इनके लिए 6th बजट प्रेजेंटेशन था. 5 full-fledged budgets उन्होंने प्रेजेंट किया है, and this is the 6th one, which is the interim. And with this she has same level पे पहुंच गए है as our former Prime Minister Mr. Morarji Desai, जिन्होंने भी 6 budgets present किया था, 5 full-fledged and 1 interim. Okay, so with this let me start today's session. Yes, Aniket, hello. So before getting into the today's interim budget और उसमें क्या features है, or I should say the highlights that are important for your examination and all that, let's try to understand what exactly is an interim budget. See, when we talk about interim budget, especially during the election year, the incumbent government, here in this case the BJP one, it cannot present a full budget because they are going to face the elections, and once the new government takes place, then they have the right to cover the full-fledged budget. So therefore an interim budget, so that for a short period to cover all the government expenses, revenues and all that, this interim budget is presented. Very important. Now what is that it is included in the interim budget? So when we talk about the interim budget, the name itself suggests interim, कोई बीच में कुछ कर रहे हैं, and that too for a short period. So but still पूरा गवर्नमेंट चलाना है उतने महीनों के लिए, so definitely they have to look into various aspects of budget like government's expenditure, revenue, fiscal deficit, financial performance and projections as well for just a few months. That all would be included in the interim budget. So here also today the budget, the interim budget for the year 2024, whatever that has been highlighted, that included all these aspects. जो पुराना क्या क्या किया उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट ने, they have highlighted that. They have also highlighted what it is going to be in the future. कुछ highlights उन्होंने दिया है, not exactly, they haven't revealed all the details, but yes, they have at least given an idea on what it could be in the future and various other concepts or facts and figures associated with the budget. Okay. So yes, now when we talk about interim budget, एक बार यूनियन बजट भी देख लेते हैं. It is nothing but the annual financial statement, estimated cost, expenses, that is revenues, expenditure and all that would be covered. जैसे हमारा P&L टाइप का होता है, उनका annual financial statement है. And this year, after the Lok Sabha elections, the new central government that is going to form, that would present the full budget. ओके, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. सो दैट्स द रीजन इंटरिम बजट प्लेस में आया है, बिकॉज वी डोंट नो विच गवर्नमेंट विल फॉर्म फॉर दैट पर्पस. नाउ देयर आर सम इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स दैट यू हैव टू सी बिफोर गेटिंग इनटू द highlights of this interim budget. First thing, as I've said, this is our Honorable Finance Minister's Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman's 6th straight budget. And she has become the 2nd finance minister in India to have presented the union budget for 6 consecutive years continuously, similar to what that has been achieved by Morarji Desai, who happens to be our former prime minister. And Sitharaman also happens to have, she is the first full-time woman finance minister of India, who has become in July 2019. एक बार इंदिरा गांधी ने भी किया था for few months. During that time she has presented. But again, full-fledged, it is Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman only, first full-time woman finance minister. And she has presented 5 full budgets, and this was her first interim budget. Okay. Now what was the development mantra? सबसे पहले ये तो विकसित भारत 2047, this is what the agenda was. And when they first came to power, this is what they have said, sabka saath sabka vikas. But after that they have included one more term, that is sabka saath sabka vikas and sabka vishwas. This was what that they have highlighted during their second stint to form the government. And now what they have to say is, along with that, it is backed by sabka prayas, and now they are focusing Vikasit Bharat 2047 or the developed India at the rate 2047. Okay. Now, what are the key takeaways from our Honorable Finance Minister's speech? Few I'll highlight here. After that, we'll look into sectoral wise details. And meanwhile, wherever you feel like you have any query or question or anything, you keep on asking me. I'll be more than happy to look into that. So the first thing that they have highlighted during this speech was about the lowering the expected fiscal deficit. So here for 2022-23, it was 6.4%, which they say they have brought it down to 5.8%, that is of GDP. That's how we see for 2023-24. And not only that, they are very much confident in saying that the fiscal deficit will come down to 5.1% in the next year, that is 2024-25, and by 2026 they say that the government is aiming to reduce fiscal deficit to below 4.5%. Fiscal deficit is nothing but the revenue expenditure, जो भी उसका deficit जो बनता है, that is revenues कम है, expenditures ज़्यादा है, that forms this fiscal deficit. Okay, second important point or key takeaway from the speech of our Honorable Finance Minister, and आज तो 1 घंटे से पहले ही हो गया, because since it is an interim budget, it was supposed to happen. The country's capital spending or the capital expenditure for 2024-25, this they have raised by 11% to 11.11 lakh crores, or it would be 3.4% of the GDP. So with this we can expect a good amount of infrastructure projects and all that again, because whenever capital expenditure is there, कुछ तो infrastructure development तो होगा ही, and that will lead to good employment opportunities as well. Okay, now third important point, no changes both direct taxes, indirect tax rates में कोई change नहीं किया है. Whatever that was earlier, it is the same. They haven't made any changes currently. कुछ items में they have given some exemption or they have extended the exemption that I will take you through. Otherwise, direct, indirect taxes में there is no change at all. And next important point, there are no SOPs or big rural transfers as such. They haven't mentioned anything except that Finance Minister has announced a building of 2 crore more houses for the rural in the next 5 years, saying that now directly only they have said that they are going to continue PM Awas Yojana Gramin. Okay, so 2 crore more houses they are planning to the already added ones. 1 crore plus already target है, उसमें almost achieve हो गया है. Okay, and second important point which I forgot to highlight here about the Lakpati Didis. Now this is related to SHGs. Currently 83 lakh SHGs में से they have created 1 crore Lakpati Didis. That is, these men are able to earn more than 1 lakh per annum as the income. So हो गए ना Lakpati. So Lakpati Didis. So now 1 crore तो already achieve हो गया. Now they are planning. They said that earlier it was 2 crores. They are targeting 2 crores Lakpati Didis. But now as per this interim budget, the bar has been raised higher to 3 crores. So now they are targeting in another 2 to 3 years. They will be targeting to make 3 crore Lakpati Didis out of these SHGs. Next important point or key takeaway, the government set up 1 lakh crore corpus for what? To provide a 50-year interest-free loans or long-term financing or refinancing with long tenors or low or nil interest rates so as to scale up research and development in the sunrise sectors. Also, from this corpus they will be providing loans to even states wherever that is required, especially for the sunrise sectors जैसे कि फिशरीज हो गया, कई सारे हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, जितने भी सेक्टर्स हैं, wherever they feel that this sunrise sectors में अभी ये भी आते हैं renewable energy वाला. So all that they are planning to give boost to them by providing very low interest rate loans or even nil interest rate loans. And one big claim, average real income of the people has increased by 50%. If we see the per capita income also, that has increased close to double, but after removing inflation and all that, adjusting the inflation etc., the government has to claim that average real income of people has increased by 50% over the past few years. Okay, so these are some of the key takeaways. Now one more key takeaway, last one, as I said, tax में कुछ changes नहीं है, but yes, for certain startups कुछ certain tax benefits दिए थे government ने earlier, which were going to expire on 31st March 2024. For them, they have given a respite, saying that these tax SOPs or जो tax benefits that would be extended till 31st 2025. See, certain tax benefits to startups and investments made by sovereign wealth or pension funds. They have been provided with this tax exemption on certain income of even some international financial service center units, because this is the one which is in gift city. तो उसमें कई सारे units. This is one such, or you can say a place where even the international organizations are setting up their financial units, and for these units they were given some tax benefits, and that was till 31st March 2024. Now that also has been extended till 31st March 2025. Okay, so these are some of the key takeaways. Now what I am going to do is I will be taking you through some sectoral key takeaways. इसी में से है, थोड़ा सा in depth है. Now before that, let me highlight one thing to you. When we talk about this interim budget, okay, it was presented in two parts. Okay, part A में क्या है, जो भी हमारा revenue based है, not revenue based, liability based, that is whatever the expenses that were highlighted, and part B is something where they have highlighted our revenues, that is what are our tax receipts, हमारे other indirect tax कितना receipt है, indirect tax receipt कितना है, उसमें growth कितना आया है, and what is that we are expecting in the future. All that they have highlighted in part B. एंड कौन से सेक्टर के लिए कितना एलोकेशन है, कौन से स्कीम के लिए कितना एलोकेशन है, व्हाट इज दैट दे आर प्लानिंग फॉर फ्यूचर विथ ऑल दैट अमाउंट एंड ऑल दैट हैज बीन हाईलाइटेड. दैट इज द लायबिलिटी और एक्सपेंसेस दैट वाज हाईलाइटेड इन पार्ट ए. So this is one important point I forgot to highlight in the starting only. Yes, wherever you feel like you're stuck, please let me know. And before winding up this key takeaways, there are two important points that was highlighted in the speech of our finance minister, and that is one thing, that is social justice. So here they have clearly mentioned in the document also, Prime Minister's focus is on the upliftment of 4 major castes, and now here they have highlighted that in the form of Garib, that is poor, Mahilaye, that is women, Yuva, that is youth, and Annadata, that is farmer. And they have said that government is also equally focused on a more comprehensive GDP. Now here they gross domestic product nahi, what they have to say is for GDP it is governance that they are managing for development of the economy through proper performance. So this is what they have highlighted during the speech as well. Now let's focus on the sectoral ones, how we have done, and this is all again part of part A budget only. Part B taxation wala jab shuru hoga, that will all fall under part B. So here various measures will be taken towards meeting the commitment for net zero by 2070. This is one of those Panchamrit principles that India has given to the world during the Glasgow's COP26 meet. COP of UNFCCC. Okay, here the first point that they have highlighted is viability gap funding will be provided for harnessing offshore energy projects. See, India mein we are requesting countries to come for harnessing solar energy, and offshore jahan pe bhi we are trying to get into wind energy projects. So here they have said that wherever there is any फंडिंग, जैसे ऑलरेडी एक प्रोजेक्ट मतलब उसका पूरा फंडिंग वो सब सेट रहता है, बट समटाइम्स वाइल गोइंग थ्रू देयर माइट बी सम gaps wherein short of funds sort of, so that would be provided through this viability gap funding. That government is saying that we have your back. Okay, next, coal gasification and liquefaction capacity of 100 million tons or metric tons will be set up by 2030. Now currently the entire government is focusing on coal gasification, because this is one such process wherein whatever the gas that is being extracted is without harming the environment on one hand, and the gas that we are extracting that can be used in various ways. Okay, now when we talk about this coal gasification, 2 सेकेंड एक 10-15 सेकेंड में मैं आपको समझाती हूँ. सी, जनरली कोल बर्न करेंगे तो पावर आता है, राइट. सो हियर इन दिस केस व्हाट दे डू, दे बर्न द कोल बट अंडर स्पेसिफिक सिलेंडर्स विथ लॉट ऑफ अंडर ग्रेट प्रेशर्स. दे यहाँ पे कोल होगा. ओके, coal, this is all coal that is kept in that cylinder sort of, and now here they'll pump oxygen plus little bit moisture into that, and under controlled conditions they'll allow that coal to undergo combustion. Now this will release carbon monoxide plus hydrogen, which is called as syngas. Now this syngas, this is purified, and now it will be used in various processes through which we can extract natural gas, methanol, ammonia and various other items as well, which can be used in various industries, not only industries, for residential purposes as well. So this is one such, and why it is garnering so much of popularity, because the entire process there is very less release of greenhouse gases, and whatever that are released that can be captured very easily. Earlier processes में क्या था, दो ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस रिलीज होते थे, बट देयर वाज नो प्रॉपर प्रोसेस और मेथोडोलॉजी टू कैप्चर देम. हियर वी कैन डू that is one plus point, so because of which we are focusing on that. And fertilizer manufacturing के लिए this is one best way wherein we can reduce our dependence on import of fossil fuels and fertilizers and various other items as well related to fuels. Okay, phased mandatory blending of compressed biogas in compressed natural gas for transport. अभी तक तो ट्रांसपोर्ट ही चल रहा था, but now they are planning that to use for piped natural gas for domestic purposes as well. So they are planning for that. So जो भी blending अभी पहले चल रहा था, that is for completely transportation and commercial purposes. Now they want to venture into the domestic purposes as well. And ऐसा एक already project launch हुआ है इंदौर में. Okay, last year I think. Financial assistance will be provided for procurement of biogas aggregation machinery as well, so that more जो भी biogas generation होगा, more units can venture into that. तो ये हो गया हमारा जो क्लाइमेट के लिए जो कर रहे हैं. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर outlay increased by 11.11%. This we have already discussed. 50-year interest-free loans to the state governments extended for another year under the Gati Shakti Master Plan, wherein 16 ministries they have all come together and doing various infrastructural projects in the smoothest manner possible. Okay, simpler. Now here one important point that I wanted to highlight is, now whatever the railway corridor programs, especially major economic railway corridor programs that are being done, now they'll be focusing or they'll be implemented in 3 major ways. One, energy, mineral and cement corridors, whatever the transportation of that would be there through, जैसे 2 places है, एक जगह पे requirement है, एक जगह पे cement, all that manufacturing is. So whatever the lines that will be, they'll have the focus on that. Port connectivity corridors, this is one important aspect. Why? Currently we are focusing more on waterways as well, the transportation through waterways. So if that is done from those ports also, we have to transport the material to the relevant consumption centers, because consumption centers so ports के बहुत नजदीक तो होंगे नहीं, we don't have that, हर जगह पे वो feasibility नहीं है. So we have to connect those ports. So here they are trying to do that through the railways, and that also is one of the important aspect under this particular program. Third is high traffic density corridors. Wherever high traffic density corridors are there, they are trying to ease out that by proposing more lines there. Okay, 40,000 normal rail bogies जो है, they are being converted into Vande Bharat standards, so that safety, convenience and all that can be enhanced for the people. Namo Bharat trains, the Vande Bharat only, and metro rail services will be added in more cities. अभी कुछ ही cities में है, so the plan is to extend that to various other cities, mostly venturing out into tier 2 cities as well. Indian carriers service air providers orders for over 1,000 new aircrafts. So this is also one of the achievements. So it means that going further we'll have ease of living, and that will attract more investments. More investments मतलब more development मतलब more economic opportunities, including employment opportunities. ये हो गया. नेक्स्ट उन्होंने फोकस किया है डेयरी डेवलपमेंट एंड मत्स्य संपदा स्कीम्स में. So we all know that though India is number 1 in milk production in the world, but still majority of the people, the availability of milk, that is very less, for which, and that also we are focusing more on improving our indigenous breeds of cows or cattle rather than the depending on the exotic ones. So for which various schemes have been already launched. Now what, as per the interim budget, the government has to say is, so efforts will be increased on that. So here efforts are already on the control of foot and mouth disease, built on the success of existing schemes such as Rashtriya Gokul Mission, National Livestock Mission, infrastructure development funds for dairy processing and animal husbandry. All that efforts would be increased so that we can achieve more, or we can achieve whatever that have been planned. क्योंकि animal and dairy development के लिए the schemes that were there, they have already segregated into 3 umbrella programs, and they are being run currently. Okay, implementation of Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Now this is one such scheme which has garnered lot of attention. Why? Because this is one scheme in India that has got the highest funding in the sector, in the fisheries sector. 20,000 crores first time इतना high allocation हुआ है कोई scheme को fisheries sector में, and that was प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना, and with which they were targeting various various goals that include enhancing the aquaculture productivity from existing 3 tons to 5 tons per hectare. All these they are targeting for 2025-26. Doubling of our exports to 1 lakh crores, जो currently 60,000 के आसपास में है. Okay, generating 55 lakh employment opportunities in the near future. Once obviously exports increase करना है तो more investments है तो more employment, again that all will lead to the final exports and production as well. And this one that they have highlighted is 5 integrated aqua parks will be set up. ये इसका announcement last year budget में भी हुआ था, and work is being done in तमिलनाडु में एक aqua park के लिए work start भी हुआ है. Okay, so 5 such integrated aqua parks they are planning. So ये हो गया dairy and aqua का. Now important announcements for agriculture and food processing. So here the entire crux में समझा देती हूँ. 2 things they are focusing. 1, PPP investment, that is public private partnership investments they are planning, that too in post harvest handling and supply chain management. So whatever that they have highlighted in this, they are focusing on these two. Okay, the efforts for value addition in the agriculture sector, that will again come in as one of the aspect of supply chain, and the other is for ensuring faster growth of sector. It is further promoting public and private investment in post harvest activities. That will include aggregation, modern storage, efficient supply chain, again primary and secondary processing, marketing, branding, everything, for which various schemes have already been launched long back and they are being running. So more focus would be shifted there. So here one of that is the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, which has benefited 38 lakh farmers and generated 10 lakh employment. And the other is the Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises Yojana. It has already assisted 2.4 lakh SHGs and 60,000 individual with credit linkages. Now this particular scheme is majorly जो already है, छोटे छोटे वेंचर्स उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ प्रॉपर फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस they are not able to go big. So for such units, especially processing units, this particular scheme was a boon sort of. So this way they wanted to bring those processing units into mainstream by providing them with the financial support, so that good infrastructure can be developed and thereby more employment opportunities and good marketing. क्योंकि अभी तो छोटे हैं, वहाँ लोकल में ही जो भी उनका हो रहा है सेल, but now that can be enhanced nationally and internationally. Other than this, कुछ और announcements भी किया था इस particular budget में, which are important for your examination point of view. One is the rooftop solarization. So here very recently PM Suryodaya योजना, उससे पहले जो रूफटॉप सोलराइजेशन स्कीम था, that would complement this PM Suryodaya योजना, clearly mentioned 1 crore households would help to set up the rooftop solar panels. With that, what will happen? They'll be able to not only generate electricity for themselves, if there is any excess, that can be taken up by the gathered by the distribution companies, thereby indirectly 300 units of free electricity. Obviously वो खुद ही generate कर रहे हैं and all they are being subsidized also, so that would be free. So 300 units of free electricity, in this way they'll be able to get. At the same time, they'll be able to save close to 15,000 to 18,000 rupees per annum because of this. Okay, and housing for middle class. Here along with the एक already scheme है प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना अर्बन, but still government is saying that they are going to launch another scheme, will launch a scheme unlike ग्रामीण में जो उन्होंने clearly mention किया है, that would be under प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना ग्रामीण, wherein will enhance, that is 2 crore और houses हम लोग build करेंगे रूरल इंडिया में. But here they have clearly said that they will be launching a scheme to help deserving sections of the middle class living in rented houses or slums or chawls or unauthorized colonies to buy or build their own houses. Now we have to wait and watch how they are going to do this. Medical colleges, government is planning to set up more medical colleges. How? Rather than creating some new ones, they are planning to utilize the existing hospital infrastructure under various departments and expand them. For that, one best example recently यहाँ लखनऊ में ही एक बड़ा सा उस तरह से उन्होंने किया था. Okay, rather than एक नया वेंचर स्टार्ट करने से है, they have utilized the existing unit hospital only and they have completely expanded that. Okay, and one, this is something very much new, cervical cancer vaccination. Government is promoting vaccination for girls and in the age group of 9 to 14 years, so that they can avoid cervical cancer in the long run. So this is something new that they are planning. Let's see how it goes. They haven't made much revealed much on this. Maternal and child health care, upgradation of Anganwadi centers. If you remember in the budget 2020-23 itself, जितने भी schemes थे under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, they have been all brought under 3 umbrella programs like Mission Shakti, एक और था upgradation of Anganwadi, and एक और था इसमें मिशन संभाल and सामर्थ्य भी थे. Okay, women empowerment schemes and women protective schemes. So Under that, one of that was Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan to one of those umbrella schemes. Now what they are saying is that will be expedited. अभी जो टाइम ले रहे हैं they are trying to expedite that so that this can be done in a much faster manner so that these Saksham Anganwadis, that is once they become self-sufficient, how that can be done? By providing them with capacity building. उनका एक और प्लान भी है कि like kitchen gardens type का उनको create करे so that nutritious meals can be prepared from that, or they can utilize them for the revenue generation and all that. So many ideas are there. They're mulling out on how that can be done. And here they are saying that on 14 improved nutrition aspects, they are expecting work from these Anganwadi workers. So that they are trying to expedite, that they have highlighted there. And now Ayushman Bharat, that is healthcare, would be covered or extended to all the Asha workers as well, Anganwadi workers and various helpers in the system. Okay. Now these are the allocation for specific ministries. Various allocations, as you can see, highest is for Ministry of Defence and least is for Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, but still. And this is allocation to major schemes in crores. As you can see here, this is for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, and this is for Ayushman Bharat. For everything they have increased good amount of allocation, but this is again temporary. We'll get the final figures once they release the full budget, that is after the elections जो भी गवर्नमेंट बनेगा. ये नेशनल ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन के लिए है. ओके, नाउ पार्ट ए हो गया अभी हमारा. नाउ लेट्स हैव अ क्विक लुक एट द पार्ट बी एज वेल. नाउ डायरेक्ट टैक्स बेनिफिट्स में क्या है, एज आई हैव सेड अर्लियर आल्सो, नो चेंज इन द एग्जिस्टिंग टैक्स regime, everything is same. That's what our honorable finance minister has said. And but some facts that they have revealed here, and that is direct tax collection has tripled, and जो टैक्स फाइल करते हैं, those return filers have increased to 2.4 times in the last 10 years. One fact and figure. Outstanding direct tax demands up to 25,000 pertaining to the period up to financial year 2009-10 have been withdrawn. जैसे कुछ केसेस होंगे ना उतने पुराने वाले भी, those they must have income tax department has generated some tax demand that this is what that is pending in your name. For such cases up to financial year 2009-10, मतलब 2009-10 से पहले जितने भी pending cases है, up to 25,000, it's not that all, only up to 25,000 tax demands they said that now that would be withdrawn. So they're all safe now. They don't have anything owing to income tax department. Similarly, outstanding direct tax demands up to rupees 10,000 for financial years 2009-10 तक तो ये हो गया. अब 2014-15 तक up to 10,000 they have withdrawn. So with this, it seems this will help, or it will give a sigh of relief to 1 crore taxpayers. Important. Okay, and this we have already discussed. Tax benefits to startups, investments made that have been extended, and also tax exemption on certain income of IFSC units that also has been extended till 31st March 2025. Okay. Yes, now indirect tax benefits, nothing but our GST पहले बहुत fragmented था, and now everything is under GST only. So here GST has unified the highly fragmented indirect tax regime in India, and average monthly gross GST collections has doubled to 1.66 lakh crores. Now this shows how we are faring in our businesses. Simple. And GST tax base has also doubled since its inception. Now, various initiatives that have been taken up by the government in the realm of tax, that is tax rationalization efforts over the years, what government has done and how it has helped businesses and people. No tax liability for incomes up to 7 lakh. जो लास्ट ईयर का उन्होंने किया था, the same is applicable now, and they are saying that 2013-14 में it was only 2.2 lakhs, but now we have increased that to 7 lakhs straight. Presumptive taxation threshold for retail businesses has been increased to 3 crores from 2 crores. ये last to last year ही किया था, but still as I've said, over the years what are the various initiatives that they have taken, all at one place they have highlighted here. What is this presumptive taxation? कई बार ऐसा होता है कि छोटे businesses हैं, turnover भी कम है, but to maintain all that tax papers and various other management of papers, that's really not possible for them to maintain that. एक person को फिर अलग से रखना पड़ेगा, for which what government has given is that पहले से ही था ये, and what they have to say is okay 3 crores तक आपका turnover है तो on that straight away 8% आप tax पे कर दीजिए, हो गया done. ओके उसमें कुछ और नुएंसेस भी है, लाइक अगर दे आर गेटिंग अमाउंट इन कैश उसका थोड़ा परसेंटेज ज़्यादा रहता है, एंड इफ इट इज़ डिजिटल रिसीट्स है दैट उसका थोड़ा कम रहता है, 8% एंड 6% रेस्पेक्टिवली, ऐसा कुछ है. सो दैट दे हैव गिवन. सो फॉर रिटेल बिजनेसेस हैविंग दैट टर्नओवर अगर 3 crores तक है देन दे कैन गो फॉर प्रिजम्पटिव टैक्सेशन. वही इंडिविजुअल प्रोफेशनल्स है, for them they have increased that to 75 lakhs जो पहले 50 lakhs था presumptive taxation. Okay, and corporate income tax that also 2019 में हुआ था ये, they have decreased that to 22% from 30%. This is for the existing domestic companies, whereas for new manufacturing companies the same corporate income tax is at the rate of 15%. Obviously new business में है तो उनका थोड़ा कम ही रहेगा. ओके ये हो गया हमारा टैक्स रेशनलाइजेशन एफर्ट्स ओवर द इयर्स. अच्छे से एक ही जगह पे है. इफ दिस कम्स इन डिस्क्रिप्टिव आंसर ऑल्सो यू विल बी एबल टू हैव ऑल दिस एट वन प्लेस. आप फटाफट इसी को याद करके लिख सकते हैं. नाउ कमिंग टू कितना रिसीट्स है, कितना हमारा एक्सपेंडिचर है, कितना फिजिकल डेफिसिट है, एक बात देख लेते हैं. नो रिवाइज्ड एस्टिमेट्स ऑफ 2023-24, क्योंकि लास्ट जब भी हम बजट लाते हैं दैट वुड बी द प्रोजेक्शंस. सो ऑब्वियसली नेक्स्ट ईयर का जब प्रोजेक्शंस होते हैं तो पिछले साल का हम रिवाइज एस्टिमेट्स जरूर देते हैं. सो हियर द सेम थिंग, रिवाइज एस्टिमेट्स ऑफ 2023-24. हियर द टोटल रिसीट्स अदर देन बोरोइंग्स इज 27.56 lakh crores, which is good actually, which tax receipts alone counts for 23.24 lakh crores. एक्सपेंडिचर कितना है बट इट इज हाई. दिस इज वाई वी आर लीडिंग टू फिजिकल डेफिसिट जो 5.8% है 2023-24. उससे पहले 6 point something था, राइट. सो द सेम थिंग वी आर प्लानिंग दैट 2024-25 के लिए वी वांट टू ब्रिंग दैट टू 5.1%. सो हियर फॉर दिस एस्टिमेट दैट इज 2024-25 के लिए हमारे बजटरी एस्टिमेट्स क्या है. टोटल रिसीट्स वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट टू बी एट 30.8 lakh crores and expenditure 47.66, that is culminating to fiscal deficit of 5.1%. okay ये हो गया important. ये सारे जो मैंने बोल्ड में किया है ना that all would be important. I'll upload this PDF also so that you can go through this. Tax receipts are estimated at 26.02 lakh crores. जितना भी यहाँ total receipts है ना उसमें tax receipts इतने हैं. okay, and scheme of 50-year interest-free loan for capital expenditure जो हमने पहले किया था that would be continued this year with an outlay of 1.3 lakh crores. जो 1 lakh जो हमने दिया था ना that they are saying that we'll continue that with 1.3 lakh crores, and this would be available to the states as well along with various units. okay, now gross and net market borrowings through dated securities, they are estimated to be 14.13 and 11.75 lakh crores respectively. This is whatever borrowings that we are getting gross net, मतलब उसमें से जो interest and all that हटा के they have given gross and net market borrowings. And here one important point highlighted here is India's real GDP is projected to grow at 7.3%, which is one of the best in the world in financial year 2023-24. okay, yes, now here is what the rupee comes from. जो भी हमारे revenues आ रहे हैं वो कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, that should be there. as you can see here सबसे highest, that is important, सबसे highest हमारा आ रहा है borrowings and other liabilities. actually this we should reduce, and income tax is next highest है हमारा income tax. third is GST and other taxes, and after that comes the corporation tax. Okay, so highest जो हमारा rupee comes from, it is from borrowings and other liabilities, 28%. So more than a quarter of what we are getting as revenue is through borrowings, which is one negative aspect that we are trying to reduce. Next, rupee goes to where it is going. It is going obviously, जब ये ज़्यादा है borrowings तो interest भी ज़्यादा होंगे, so interest payments and states share of taxes and duties वो तो इनको देना ही है, because GST सब collection एक जगह आता है, so this is high here. Okay, so rupee goes to interest payments more, after that this state share and central sector schemes after that. ओके, सब बोलते हैं ना स्कीम्स में बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा है, बट यू कैन सी इट इज़ लेस व्हेन कंपेयर टू द इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स एंड द अदर एक्सपेंडिचर. So this is all from my end. Thank you very much for being so patient, and yes, now the forum is open for your queries, questions, comments on today's session. Yes, and I request you all to please like this session and share this session with your friends as well, so that they can also visit. And I have given all the links to my YouTube channel, app, Telegram, all that in the description box, and I request you all to join that, subscribe to that, so that whatever sessions that I am doing, you can get a notification of that in time. Yes friends, any questions, any queries? ओके, तो मैंने क्वेश्चंस कुछ इंक्लूड नहीं किया इसमें एट द एंड, जनरली सेशन के बाद करते हैं, ऑलरेडी ये लेंदी हो गया है, सो विल हैव सम क्वेश्चंस लेटर, डेफिनेटली विल हैव. Okay, since I'm not getting any queries, I'm winding up this session. Thank you very much once again for being with me. Please take good care of yourself. See you all tomorrow same time at 8:30 with yet another interesting topic. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.